Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Sisters of the Mystical Tarot. We have our special guest tonight. Diana, oil painter, is back with us again. She's kind of become an honorary sister, I guess you could say. This is what your third week in a row you've been with us, so that's kind of cool.
I love it.
And we've got next to me, I've got Aley from Heart and Soul Connected, and then Diana, and below Diana is Marina from Heart Centered Tarot, and then below me is Val from Dragonfly Crystals and Next Level Channeling. I always mess that up. I don't know why. All of the links to their channels are in the description box below. Please, please, please go down there after the show and click on each link and subscribe and share and like. After the show tonight, go in and leave a comment. That helps us get our channels and our shows pushed out because it affects the algorithm and how that works. So, and that helps people who are looking for us and don't know it find us and surprised. So that's kind of the whole gig. And it helps everybody all the way around. And next week is Val will be our host next week, right? Yes. Okay.
I do believe it is Val. Yes.
Okay. Yes, Val is our hostess next week. So next week we'll all be heading to her channel. So every week we'll be on each other's channel. And
it's like
tonight,
going to a friend's house for a sleepover. Next week
there
is
you go. You never know where you're going to wake up next. So.
Exactly.
That's great.
Sounds like
Anything goes. I just couldn't think of anything to talk about this week. I've been so scattered and so many things happening around here that I was literally got down to it the other night and I thought, well, crap, what are we going to talk about? I don't know. And then I realized I just got my new box in from Hay House Deck Club with 2 brand new decks and whatnot. And so I thought, oh, let's update since the last time we talked about what kind of cards we like.
Yes.
Let's update ourselves because there's so many new and fascinating tarot cards and oracle cards. And even sometimes for those of us who find older decks that maybe we weren't aware of that suddenly get pushed back out by the publisher for people to take a look at. And you're like, oh, I like that one. That's a good one. So it's a sickness. I don't know. I can't stop buying cards.
Well,
Every time I get a box, yeah, every time I get a new deck of cards, my family just looks at me and goes, really? Another deck? You really need that? And I'm like, yeah, desperately. I can't explain it.
Yeah. I could gamble.
I have probably about
Chris, I mean, I could be like buying drugs and alcohol and
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be a drug addict all on the patio, but
wow. Yeah.
And don't forget, next weekend, I think all of us are involved, or most of us are involved.
This weekend.
This coming weekend. Not next weekend. This weekend.
This weekend.
For the Labor Day weekend, starting at 4:00 Eastern Sunday afternoon, and we'll run 24 hours to 4:00 Eastern Monday afternoon. Deborah Lupian and Helen Irish Granny Tarot are having a 24-hour marathon, Psychic Saving Democracy. And every penny that's donated is going straight to the Harris Walls Campaign Fund.
Yes.
So there's going to be a great big button. Everybody can click on the button and donate. It all goes to Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz and their campaign fund. Just our little way of putting back. There's already a page up where you can go and see who all's participating.
Yep.
I don't know if Deborah's got this. Okay, thank you, Maria. Thank you. Because I don't remember if I put it in the description box or not. Um, and I know this afternoon we just got our schedules of when we're going to be appearing. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's been posted yet or not. I know I'll be on air from, what is it, 1 a.m. Central Time until 4 a.m. Central Time. So I'm taking 3 night shift slots with Ramon, who will be my partner for all 3 shots.
He'll
So,
keep you awake, Sherry. He'll keep you
oh, yeah,
awake.
Absolutely.
He's great.
that's right.
Like
Hama.
I could just sit and watch him, you know.
I know.
At
I know.
some
Don't you
point, my
just want to
son's
run
going
your
to
fingers
join.
through his hair? Like,
Yeah, I
just,
got to
just let me
do my
just let me
makeup just right and look good for him. He's such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Humana is right. At some point, my son's going to pop in when I'm on and do 1 or 2 songs live. He's also working on editing a couple of original songs he's done that he's written and performed, and he's getting those edited and kind of niced up for Deborah so she can plug it into any empty time slots. If she needs like 3 or 4 minutes to kind of cover, she can plug that in. So which was, I was very appreciative. I mentioned, would you like to help? And he was like, yeah, I can give some music, do some music for you. And I'm like, it can't be a cover, it has to be original. He says, okay. So I was very happy he decided to join me on this little foray. And he was like, it's the least I could do after everybody did so much for us when I had my heart attack and stuff. And so, you know, it what goes around comes around. It's all good karma. And
how did his
so,
Sherry, how did his thing for his that you went to last Wednesday, how did that go? Did that go?
it was
Yeah.
really, really great. We
Fundraiser.
raised a little over $500.
Okay.
Because it was a very small venue. Only a max like 35 people could be in the building because of fire laws. So it was held at a music shop that sells a lot of resells and refurbished stuff and whatnot. And I got to meet the owners. Very nice couple. And I got to meet a bunch of other people that from teenagers to in their 90s that were there for the concert.
Awesome.
And Lewis did a couple of songs, and then his friend Julian Primo was the one who had the idea, and he did the majority of the music. He's on YouTube. Look him up, Julian Primo, Primeaux, and he is a fantastic musician. He just got inducted into the Louisiana Musical Hall of Fame last month. So, and he's like the same age as Lewis. He's only 40, and he's already he plays around the world. He's traveled. They just did a gig in Europe several months back where they were gone for a while. He's not only a good musician, a good singer and whatnot, but he has stage presence. He has that charisma that really kind of ticks that box with a performer. And he had most of us in stitches most of the night because just telling funny stories about stuff. And so I was giving him extra hugs at the end of the night, thanking him for putting all of that together. And it was really great. So thank y'all for excusing me for the night and not being here. And but anyway, so let's get on with, well, before we get started, real quick, Aley, anything you got coming up this week that you want to let everybody know about? Muted.
Sorry
Muted.
about that.
Oh,
I
there we
backed
go.
off. I've backed off quite a number of things, but I will be on with Valerie Bradshaw on Friday night at 6:00, and tomorrow
Yay.
I have my mediums show and also Angel show with Medium Kim. So yeah, and then Sunday I'll be on. Actually, Marina and I are on together and then later in the night I'm on with Gerald, and I'm going to have a terrible time, I know, but somebody's going to take that slot, you know.
I
Yeah,
know. I know. I'm sending out good vibes. You working
Thank
with
you.
your
I
group,
need it.
you
I
know.
will need it.
yeah, I know. I had to bite the bullet and take 3 hours straight with Ramon. So, it's like
Yeah,
Yes.
I really feel
somebody's
bad
got to
for
do
you.
it.
Yes.
And Miss Diana, what about you, my dear? What's up for you?
Um, well, after tonight, as far as I know, nothing until Monday. Then I'll be on with Cardamancy Mesquite, and we come on at 3 o'clock Eastern time. And then we not only use Nancy Jean's Crystal Garden, but we also use pendulum cards if necessary, and I take out my dowsing rods.
Cool.
She's a
Lovely,
So,
Val. What about
Jackie of all
you?
trades.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, and then
What you got
Tuesday,
coming?
then the week comes back.
Yes.
right.
Back to normal. There you go.
Yeah.
And Miss Val, what about you? What you got coming?
Let's see. I just finished a new orb with Sally, number 3. You might want to go check that out. I did it just before
Ooh.
Sisters.
Yeah.
And it's Lightworkers tomorrow and just the normal shows. So I'll have some of that. I'll try and make sure I put it in the community page if you want to check. And check out my September classes. It's a great time in the fall to start taking classes. So dragonflycrystals.store, you can go there. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And lovely Marina, what's up with you?
You know what? Like Val, yes, we've got messages for Lightworkers tomorrow. We also have Golden Girls tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
And then, yes. And then on Friday, I have got, it's new reader to me, Annette Dion will be joining me. And
She's good.
yes. Yeah.
She actually wrote you
I'm-
back. That's fabulous because I've tried to get her on for 3 years. Wow.
Oh my gosh. I'll mention
that's
something.
awesome. Yeah.
So yeah, I had
Marina will plug us while she's got her there.
There you go.
there you
Marina.
go. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to that. Really looking forward to the weekend and doing the telethon. Also, yes, if you're interested in booking a personal reading, if you're interested in taking classes, go over to my website. Real easy to remember. Here you go. It's marinasheartcentertarot.com. You can get all kinds of information on there. And I agree with Val. September is the kids are back in school. Things slow down a little. That's a great time to
Tell me
start
about it.
thinking about classes and starting to invest a little bit of time in yourself. So you can do that. For other things, best thing to do is check out my community tab, because I will post once a week. I'll let you know what I'm up to this coming week, where I'm going to be, what shows, include the links and everything in there. And then you don't have to worry. Or the best thing to do really is to make sure that you're subscribed to my channel and hit the little bell icon. That way you'll know whenever I come on.
That's it. And we all post, I think, in our community tabs, upcoming shows.
Yes.
And subscribing and clicking the bell. That way you get notified every time we drop something. And it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. There's no obligations, no strings attached.
No.
So that's another great thing about it. And I know for me, of course, Golden Girls tomorrow night, and then Friday afternoon, I got Hershey the Shadow Reader coming on with me.
Lovely.
We finally got a schedule that we both were free at the same time. We're like, yay, let's snack it. And of course, Saturday night slumber party. And I don't know if anybody's going to be there with me or not. We'll see what happens. And and then of course Sunday and Monday is the psychic there, and then
Psychics for Democracy.
and then regular stuff after that. I don't know. It'll be in the community tab. So Anyway, so my idea was let's talk about cards that have struck our fancy in the last year or so since the last time we talked about what kind of cards we like, and what we prefer. Are there any that you always go back to for like a good standard? That's my fallback deck.
I watched that show. It's been a year already. Holy moly!
Something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe even longer,
Yeah.
because that was like one of the
It's
first.
we've been
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
almost
My,
2
how
years
time
we've been doing
flies when
this.
you're
So
having fun.
It does.
yeah, yeah. So Aley, I'll let you start us off
Oh
with
boy. Okay. Well, I got some choice cards here, and my new favorite is the Swear Tarot. And I love this because you don't really have to know the tarot in order to read it. It's just, for instance, you
Swear
just pull
words.
it's only one, and it's just pretty much like here we go. If you pull this one, it's a 6 of Pentacles, and it says you will earn more effing money. Okay. And or the King of Swords, it says get advice from someone who knows their shit. That's like my favorite in the world. So yeah, it's just a fun card, and we use it on the story cards because we have fun on the story cards. So
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, what's the name of that deck again?
it's called the Swear
Swear?
Tarot, and it is
Okay.
on Etsy. It's on Etsy. Yeah, and I
That's
just ordered
on my
another
list.
one. I ordered another one, and it has like a poop on the front, and I think it's something like, and it's when I'll be using it at some point. I love to have these crazy cards because they just
Yes.
make me happy. And
Yeah.
people would say, "Oh my God, you're." When I was teaching, I used to say to my students, first day of teaching, I would say, "Sorry guys, I don't want you to offend any of you, but I do say shit a lot." And a couple of times my students have said to me at the end of the term, "Aley, by the way, 34." And I'd say, 34? I heard you say shit 34 times this term. And I said, that's pretty low. I got to beef that up a little
I was
bit
going to
higher.
say that's not very big. I mean,
That's like
No, that's
one
not very
night,
big.
maybe?
Like today, yeah. Only
Really?
34 times
Yeah.
today.
Only 34
That's
times,
funny.
yeah. But you got some in there that just roll their eyes, or some of the Asian students from China and stuff. They're like, oh, but they get used to me by the end of the term. So anyway,
they probably say
yeah,
shit
it's a fun
themselves
deck.
by the time
They
they're
probably
done.
do, yeah,
Yeah.
because the stuff I talk about reincarnation.
They're like
and
most
stuff,
of
it's
us, they learn the swear words in another language before they learn
of
the
course
language.
they do. They've known them
Exactly.
since they were 3. They've known
Yeah.
them since they were 3 years old. They're,
Yes.
it's the fun
swear
words.
words in Polish are
So
all I know.
that's
Yes.
That's right. That's right. There you go. So that's my
Absolutely.
fun deck. The other decks that I'm going to bring up are the Blind Spot Oracle cards. These I have had for over 3 years, but never used because they're really complicated as far as the what they mean. And and Diana just got some herself. But I was on with Hershey the other day, and she's
Yes.
fabulous with them. And
Yes.
so, and I just read for Keith today, and these are hard cards to listen to. It's not all roses, and it's a little bit tough because it's looking for what you're not seeing in your own
Yeah.
life. And
Mhm.
I read for Keith today, and he was like, oh my God. He really, really nailed it every time. Nailed it. So
Wow.
that's a fun deck. I mean, it's a tough deck, but it's a good deck. So the other one I have is called Between Worlds. I've never used it on here on YouTube because it again is another book that has a long description. And there's only a few words on it. These were AI generated, by the way. And so here's one, for instance, the architect. And there's a whole bunch of information about it. So what I do is every morning I'll get up and I'll pull 3 cards and I'll write down what my day looks like. Then I go back over a period of time and I see what cards have shown up. And today I got new cards I've never gotten before, which I thought were off.
Ooh.
And I've been doing this for at least a year. So I thought that was
That's
interesting.
Wow,
That's
that is
cool.
interesting.
Yeah. And the only other one, and this is one you've all seen, is What We've Forgotten. And Val has it. I know. I don't know.
love it.
Diana, do you have it too? Yeah.
Not yet.
It's a
on
beautiful.
it's in my cart.
Okay, it's on your list. Yeah. I love this deck. This deck is really speaks to me. And
Yeah.
it's gorgeously done. It's just
Mm.
got the most beautiful pictures
Oh,
and
wow.
things
Exactly.
on it.
Yeah.
And if you really don't know how to read the tarot, like me, I'm still learning because I'm using Deborah Zaka's Clarity deck to learn. But I got this and I found it again, and it's Practical Tarot Wisdom. And it's the little cards. There's only one meaning. And for instance, the Seven of Swords says, sometimes it's better to keep your ideas to yourself. Don't let your enthusiasm reveal things others might like to take away from you. Ooh, maybe they'll be taking my decks. I don't know. Anyway, they're very easy for people trying to learn how to read, or if they just want a quick message.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, perfect.
I could pull about 400 more, but I'm not going to do that. Thank you. Again, this one is the one you really want to get. Yes. All right.
Yeah, I've written it down. I'll be seeing.
Yeah, myself. I'll be making an order soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They're fun.
All right, Diana. What about you? What are your cards that you're using a lot of, or that you really resonate with lately?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, yes. Since the first time I saw Aley use this deck, I've been wanting it. And it's one of those things, oh, I forgot I had that and I want to go get that. And you know how that goes. So I got lucky when I watched them. I went right to Amazon because it was fresh in the brain. And I had enough points to get that for free.
Wow.
Isn't that
That's
wonderful when that
awesome.
happens?
It was meant to be.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to
Uh-huh.
really get to learn it. One deck that really, really means a lot to me is the Pamela Coleman Smith 75th anniversary deck.
Ooh.
So, and
Cool.
that was what, 20 years ago? Not quite, but what I love about this deck is, it's the standard weight deck that she did the artwork for. But there's 4 extra cards in here that really, they don't, there's no special meaning, but all you have to do is look at them and understand, especially if you know. Her mother was an actress and her mother died shortly after she was born. I think she was maybe 2 or 3 years old, maybe 4 at the most. And this is an image of her with her mother, right?
Yeah.
With the laurel leaves on her head, she's the actress.
Oh, that's pretty.
Right? Because
Yeah.
they were, that's in the
Yeah.
1800s, right?
Mhm.
So it's a beautiful deck. And I use these cards when I'm reading for the public because you know how it is with questions that they're asking. And when something like this comes up, it's a mouth-dropping moment for them, especially when they've asked, was my mother around? I keep feeling blah, 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 stuff like that. And this is a gentler death card.
Oh,
You see that there's, the
Yeah.
mausoleum in there, and angels are coming with hearts to pay the visit and last respects. So that's a gentler death card. Then who's your best friend?
Yeah.
Who do you tell your secrets to? Right?
I love
Who's coming?
that.
Right? Who's coming to
Yeah.
support you? And then the last one is dreams, visions, and apparitions. We have the
Oh,
three
there you
of them.
go.
And I was,
yeah.
I want to say it's the 7 muses, but it's not. I think there's 8 angels floating in here. So that deck is a constant, and I use that a lot in the public. Some of the strange decks that I have that I absolutely love is Uncle Wiggly. And it's simple, one word, but oh my God, does it resonate with red and blue? And you know who. And this deck and the Wizard of Oz Oracle deck is made to order. He used to be on Etsy, but now I think he just handles his website by himself. It's called Duck Soup. The Wizard of Oz deck is another fantastic deck. I've got 3 more decks by him. The one deck I didn't get that I wished I had was Gollywog, which was a storybook character, but it was about a black ragdoll. And he took it off when all of that rhetoric began with Black Lives Matter and you know who.
Sure.
But these are done so fabulous, you can't help but get lost in looking at the pictures and the message that comes with it. And it all comes, especially if you know any of the stories beyond the movie. And even if that's all you know, these also make sense. So, and these I've had a while. I've probably got 5 or 6 Halloween decks. One is even the Addams Family. I just got the Legend of Zelda, the
what computer game?
The computer game that my kids played like crazy. So Santa's bringing each of these old men a deck of Zelda cards. And I got myself a deck, but I also bought the encyclopedia because I don't remember a thing they told me about it.
Wow.
And then
what is the name of the guy that did those Duck Soup and Wizard of Oz cards? Is that like on a website?
That's the name of his company, Duck Soup.
Duck Soup.
Duck Soup is the company. Okay.
Yeah. So, and he's got and remember that deck I have that has all of Clara Bow in them? When I read for Craig that night, he did that deck too. He's got some fantastic decks. And I love this one, which I've used it on our dream show. And then oh my gosh, all the old ones, Wildwood Tarot, that is my everyday read for me. And the Celtic Oracle, Tree Oracle, that's an everyday for me. And the first 5 decks by Collect, Bear, and Read, I still use them every day for me. There's some that I just don't use with public anymore. I don't want to mix up these reads.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And then a million others. I've got, what I count off 40 down here. Oh, this is another new one, though, that I can't wait to get into. Hieronymus Bosch.
Ooh.
I saw that. That.
What I really like about it is if you've ever tried to study his art, oh my gosh, he's like Salvador Dali on steroids in the 1500s.
Oh my God.
So Salvador Dali could take a lesson, and he probably did. Anyway, it doesn't have all the minor arcana. It has the major arcana, and then it has 8 suits of just court cards and the ace. So I can't wait to really get to know this deck. And then there's a million others of the old one, like the Aquarian Tarot and the New Palladini, which the first one was done in 1973, and then 20 years later, or just before he died, was it 93 or 99? Just before he died, he came out with the New Palladini. So it's got color compared to how the Aquarian Tarot is mostly pastel. And what else do I got? Inner Child and the Dream deck that Aley so graciously bestowed us with. And we all have, and it's a phenomenal deck.
It's a nice one.
Right?
Yep.
Yes.
It is. It's a great deck.
Yep, it is. And then a million others on my wish list, and I ticked off 40 decks down here, but I've got another 60 upstairs. And then there's one more that I still use a lot, and that is my own deck that I created.
Yes,
Clarity.
her own deck. Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Very nice. Yes.
So,
Yeah.
that's just some of them.
Wow.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Very, very good. Okay, Val, what you got?
oh, well, I have Mind Info Oracle cards. Now,
Ooh.
these are really if you want to use your intuition and not have a lot of stuff in the way. So as you're shuffling through and you pull X amount of cards, you only get one word, but that they do have something down below. But it really helps you to tune in to your intuition and really give a reading based on that, and grabbing and really reaching out to that energy that the person you're reading on is exuding, and you really learn to open and hone in your intuition. And a lot of times there's so much going on in a lot of other cards, you might get mixed up if you pulled this card from this deck, this card from this deck, and this card, and then you get kind of lost in the sauce for this person's situation. But if you use this Mind Info Tarot, it's really Oracle card deck, you can really open that up and really let yourself flow. So I really recommend these to people who, you don't have to know tarot, you don't have to know any of that, but man, can you zero in on someone's problems and whatever it is that they're going through. Another deck I love is Diana
love
Cooper's
that deck.
Dragon Oracle
Yes.
cards. And
Oh, yeah.
this deck is so full of energy. When I got them, the energy shot up my arms when I opened the deck. And I
Yeah.
said, "Oh, welcome, welcome home." And
Yes.
so I just embraced all the beautiful dragons that are
That's
inside
a
the deck. It's
that's
just,
a great deck. I love it.
and one of the reasons why I love this is how they look on the back side. One of the reasons why I love this deck so much is there is really dragon energy going on in this timing, especially this year.
Mhm.
And also connecting to the elemental kingdom, which is where the dragons are residing in that.
Yes.
It is very important to connect. And when you get a dragon card, you're really getting an energy that you need in your life at the time, that you're really, really needing to balance you, to show you your power, to show you what's next, and that dragon is there to call on them and bring them in and ask them to lift you up and help you to move through whatever you're dealing with or whatever's going on. And you notice at the bottom of this dragon, fire dragon, it says it burns up lower energies around you. You are safe and protected. Be determined and inspired. Clear your soul pathway. So you can see it's really going to help you burn up a lot of stuff you've been holding on to.
Yes.
And it enhances or gives you that enlightenment tip that you need that this is what's going on within you that you need to take care of. So it's like you can't go wrong with your dragon deck. Let's just say it like that. And that's about it, because the rest of them I use all the time. But these two, I think, are very powerful tools that you can use today to not get stuck in a pattern of reading, but rather break out and use your intuition and not rely on decks and what they tell you, but come up with that connection that can be everything. So thank you for listening.
You're welcome.
Right.
And lovely Marina, what do you have on your shelf for us?
Well, a lot of the decks that you've already talked about, and I think that they are favorites of ours for a reason, and that is because they work. The messages resonate and they do work. So yes, Blind Spot, and yes, when I did readings with Hershey and Gerald, and I liked the way that that Hershey used the deck. I ordered it, and they're absolutely right, Aley, in that this deck is not a Flower Sunshine's Unicorn deck.
Right.
This is it's almost having a real honest conversation with yourself. It's okay, this shit is going to hit the fan. What are you going to do about it? It's very
wake up. Right? Yeah.
And anytime that I've used it, the message that has come across has really resonated with the person hearing. It's like, oh, okay. So that's one of the ones that I like. Same thing with the Dragon Oracle. I love that. I like to use that one. Deborah Zacco's Clarity Tarot is another one. That this one I tend to go to quite a lot, and that is some of the ones that I will use on my YouTube channel. Now, I do have, like Diana, I do have a deck of my own that I developed a number of years ago, and this was as I kind of re-entered tarot again and all things esoteric, and got the message to make your own deck, and I said no, just no. And then it came at me again, and I said, no, I'm not an artist. I can't do that. And it just kept coming up and coming up until I got to the point that it was like a petulant 3-year-old who said, fine, I'll do it. And it'll be crap. And I don't ever have to hear about it again. Well, this is the deck that I use exclusively for personal readings. I don't use it on the channel at all. And yes, I'm not an artist, but these are just deep roots, and they when I lay out the cards and when I'm starting to do the reading, I won't start off with a question. It's just kind of an energy, and I lay the cards out and they tell me a story. And that kind of starts a conversation. So, these are cards, like as I say, that I use exclusively for personal readings. I think I'm in the process of possibly doing another deck that might be more for public consumption. But those are, I see the decks that I have as kind of tools in my toolbox. Right? It's like, it's like a guy, a mechanic has a great big toolbox. They don't always use all the tools all the time, but they sure like to have it there when they need it. Right? So I see the decks as some of them that I fall in love with and I use them a lot. Others I use a couple times and they sit on the shelf. Then every once in a while I'll get the pick me, and they seem to be the perfect deck for that thing. So I love each and every one of them.
It's hard to part with one. However, I have, and what I've done is take them and left them at the picnic table in the park I walk at, and they're always gone when I go back the next day. So, and some of them were kind of costly, but I'm not using them. And they're beautiful. And I know I'm never going to use them. They didn't resonate. So, And, we also need a different deck for different reads for different people. Especially if you've been using one deck and now you got to switch the energy, especially if you're doing it face to face with someone, that starts to build up after a while.
Absolutely. And there's always new readers that need to kind of be exposed to different things. That one of the things that I meet with a tarot group every Sunday, and we read for each other, we read for people that are there. It's a way to kind of to give back to spirit, and to say thank you for the gifts that I have. And this is, as I say, it's a way to give back. And we will regularly have a deck exchange where you just, whatever
cool.
deck that you're either no longer resonating with, or you kind of felt like, okay, I'm done with it, we can bring it there. And there's all kinds of people that will look at them and go, oh, okay, I like this. Well, good, take it with you, take it home, learn, do whatever. So yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's my 2 cents.
Well, I took out far too many decks, as usual. When I first started out, the tarot was so intimidating to me. You're dealing with 70 something cards, and watching experienced readers who just would flip out cards, and just, it was right there.
Yeah.
They knew what it meant. And all I could think of was, oh my God, I'll never memorize all those cards. And it just took me a while to realize I don't have to memorize them. If I need to look them up, I can. Just go with what you feel. And for a new reader, that's a very scary precipice to stand on, to just go with what you feel, because you're afraid that you're going to insult somebody because you don't give the standard meaning to it,
Yes.
So, and I forgot to take it out naturally. One of my regular fallbacks when I'm doing readings, especially personal readings, is a regular writer deck, writer weight deck, but it's got the upright and reverse meanings on the card. It gives yes, no, maybe on the card. It gives the astrological symbol that goes with that particular card on the card. You have the ruins symbol on the cards. If there's a number with that card, then you have a numerological breakdown of that number on the card. It also lists whatever element it is on the card. So it's like there's 20 things you could do with one card, depending on what the question is and what the reading is. And so I found that to be absolutely wonderful to use when doing personal readings, because I don't have to stop and really think about it. I can glance at it, and I have found that whatever it is I need to tell that person will, as I put the card down, it will, to me, literally like neon, what I need to tell them shows on the card. And it's like the letter, the symbol, whatever, it'll just pop up at me like it's in neon, which is wild. And I was like, okay, I don't know if anybody else that happens to, but this is kind of cool at the same time. But in the beginning, because I was so intimidated from the tarot cards, and I really started resonating with oracle cards, so I kind of went crazy on buying oracles. And then this past year, I've slowly been getting drawn back to the tarot again. But I think I'm going to start out with the ones we all love. And that's the naughty cards. Listen, biatch.
Yes.
The rebel deck, where you really get told something. There's the inner F and peace deck, which
Yep.
I don't remember where I picked that one up at. And then there's this one that Aley sent me out of the blue. Wake up, kick ass, repeat. And so I'm like, okay, I love these cards. This is usually the standard cards that are used on the slumber party every Saturday night. Everybody loves to have the naughty cards. And I figure it's late enough at night. Nobody cares if we're cursing. If I'm doing political readings, my fallbacks is the Clarity Tarot. Love this deck. and the deck of character. Another deck that I really,
That's the
really
name.
love.
The deck of character.
The deck of
I
character,
love
and you have to
that.
go to the website to get it. And
Yeah.
but I
And there's a
love that
brand
one
new
as well.
edition. Yeah. There's a brand new
Ah.
edition out right
And
now.
every
Same
time I
thing
turn
though.
around, there's a
Just done again.
just a new one. And then with sticking with just the tarot for right now, there I got the mystical tarot of the saints. Now this is from Nate, clairvoyant Nate, and
Yeah.
these cards are just
Yes.
phenomenal. Like they're all saints on these cards. They're all saints. And now it comes with a little bitty book that you need a magnifying glass to read. And I fussed at him about that. I said, Nate, I can't read that. So I had to do what most everybody else did. I had to go buy the book, which is separate. And he just started a Kickstarter where he's doing a deluxe edition of these cards.
Okay.
They'll be reprinted on linen paper, gold edge, with an altar cloth with 20-something original artwork cards that are just artwork that you can like frame and put up if you want. Plus it'll be signed. It just
Wow.
and I'll go back in and I'll put the link for that in the description box. And if y'all want to go and pitch in a few bucks on this Kickstarter, you can. Diana's doing what I've got down here.
Yeah.
Writing it.
And you guys, you have
as-
another one that, and maybe it is that character, but I've seen you use it.
Yeah.
It's black and white.
Oh,
Yeah.
visions in the
busy.
subliminal.
Busy.
Liminal
That's
space.
it. That's it.
Yes.
Subliminal visions of subliminal.
Visions in
Liminal
the
space.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, visions in the liminal space. That's what it is.
And I also
I
have
love that.
these that are called Inquire Within that you can get on the same, I think you can get them both on the same website.
Oh, perfect.
But they got some really good ones. My newest love, and I saw this deck. There's an astrological reader that I watch. Diana, you're too much. And she, when it comes to her tarot, she uses one deck specifically, and it's called the Sanctus Concordia tarot deck. See if I can get it without. The artwork on these is beyond gorgeous.
Say that name
like-
again.
There's the Fool,
Oh wow.
and here's the Empress.
Okay.
And what deck is this?
Artwork, it's called the Sanctus Concordia
Oh,
tarot deck.
okay.
You have to go to the website to buy it. You can't get it anywhere else. And it's crap, now I'm gonna go blank. It's designed by Christopher Lee, did the artwork.
Oh.
And you get it from crap. Naturally, I forget to write it down.
All right, stop.
I'll
the
put it
show.
in. I'll put it in the description box. So that's my new go-to on that deck for just tarot. That, and I have a pocket edition of the Light Seers. And so it's this little bitty deck. It's like this big, and it's great because it's so easy. It's in a metal tin. You can throw it in your bag. You don't have to worry about the cards getting messed up. And then the coup d'etat that I got was a deck I'd been wanting for the longest. Somebody sent it to me for my birthday, and that is the Voodoo Tarot.
Nice.
And so since I grew
Awesome.
up with voodoo and hoodoo and all that good fun stuff, I thought, oh, this is fantastic. The box, the book, I mean, it's huge, and it's so involved that I haven't really delved in too deeply to it yet because it's going to take some time. This is like homework study time.
Yeah.
And then a recent one that I just got, and I got it because I started doing a monthly show with Amy Princess Warrior on cold cases. We would just pick up and read on, and that is the True Crime Oracle cards.
Ah,
And it's very simple. You get a card with one or two words. Wooded area, you know, or water. There's others that say murder or suicide, or just you just never know what it's gonna say. And but they're just like one or two words on it, and that's it. And I thought, oh well, that I saw it on Amazon, and I thought, oh, that might actually help out for those kind of readings, just because it's a little different. And I love Colette Baron Reed. I've got most of her Oracle decks at this point, I think. The newest one I got is they just put out a pocket edition of her Wisdom of the Oracle. And it's great. I love it. It's this tends to be the deck that she teaches with whenever she does classes. This is the deck she uses, and I can see why, because it's really interesting. Another one of hers that I really like is the Enchanted Map.
yeah.
And I really, really like that one. And then her new one that just came out is Guides of the Hidden Realms. And she did all the artwork in this herself.
Yeah.
That's how the deck got started. Was she was channeling these pictures and thought, what am I going to do with this? And then her guides came to her and said, you're going to make a deck of cards out of it.
Yes.
This is another new deck that I got a few months back, Secrets of the Ancestors. And it's really great. It's a lot of African, Native American, Polynesian style characters. And then one of my favorites is Divine Dog.
Ah,
And this deck is fabulous simply because it'll be a different dog doing different things with one word and maybe a sentence underneath. And then, if you want to read the book and go into a long description of it, you can.
Yeah.
But it's usually just enough that you're doing kind of a light reading. It's just enough. It's not too much, not enough. So, and every time I turn around, like I said, I'm buying a new deck. My family just looks at me and is like, another deck, Shari? Really? Is that necessary? It's like, yes, I have to have it. I can't control myself. What's really
It's like
fun
a
is
pair of
other
black
people.
shoes. You can't have just one.
You can't have just one pair. Exactly. And so I finally made my Amazon wish list public, and now I get surprises all the time. Somebody
love it.
picks one of the decks off my list and sends it to me. So that's great.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I just, like I said, I'm slowly getting pulled back to the tarot. And so I'm enjoying some of these newer variations of tarot, which seems to make it easier for me to read. And I've always been very drawn to very color saturated artwork.
Yes.
Some people like very simplistic, some people like black and white, some people like just the pastels. You find what works for you and you stick with it. And every now and again you want to expand. You go get something else. I have gotten decks that I fell in love with looking at. And then when I got them, they just didn't resonate with me.
They end up
And
on
then
a picnic
invariably
park.
they'll go on the shelf, and suddenly I'll be in a chat somewhere or doing a show, and someone will start talking about that deck. And oh my God, how bad I want that deck. I've been waiting and waiting to get it.
Yeah.
And I'll just tell them, send me your address. It's yours. And I just gift it to them. That's how I got started. Somebody gifted me 2 decks of cards to get started. My first Oracle deck was a winning from Aley that she did on her show. And and I forgot to pull it. It's there on the shelf. I use it mainly for myself on that one.
Sure.
And
There are some that we do. Yeah.
yeah, there are just some that just
Mhm.
feels right to use for yourself. But I say don't deny yourself any cards. If you, I mean, don't not pay your rent or your light bill over a deck of cards. And if you go into some of the older decks, you could pay as much as you would for your light bill.
Yes.
Just because they're that expensive. But yeah, if you've got a little bit of extra money, indulge yourself with a new or a different kind of deck. And I find that with every deck I get, I learn something new. I walk away with new levels of gifts that I already had. And
Yeah.
so and people like Marina and Diana and whatnot that create their own decks blows my mind because it's like I have no clue how you have that ability to do that. But yeah, that's where I'm
Yeah.
at. So I like cards.
Yeah.
I was never a
It is.
card
It's
person
like
before.
it's like tools. Like if you've ever met a mechanic,
Yeah.
what do they like to do? They go shopping for tools.
Yeah.
Right? And they could look at something and go, "Oh, I don't have that one. I need that one."
Yeah.
Well,
Just
that
They
like
got
the
10
other
at
one,
home, but it's
same as
not
all
that.
the other ones. Yeah, but no, you
Well-
don't realize this one is 1/3 of whatever and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
exactly.
we're like
And
that.
then
with-
when their buddies come over, it's come look at the new tools I got.
You let
Yes.
me play with your
You know,
tools.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same
My
thing
mother
with
was
gardening
like that,
stuff.
actually. My mother loved tools. She loved to build things with her hands.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget one year my husband, her skill saw had broke. It was old. My husband decided Mother's Day's coming up. He's like, let's go get your mama a new skill saw. So we went to Sears, go get her a Craftsman, because we figured if we're going to get one, we're going to get the best. And we're in there and we're shopping skill saws, and the guy comes up to help us and he says, oh, you're getting an early Father's Day gift? He says, oh, no, this is for my mother-in-law for Mother's Day. And the guy just kind of looked at him weird, like, you're giving your mother-in-law a saw? And he's like, yes, she likes to build stuff, So,
Yeah.
And
Decks are just gardening tools are the same way. I
Yeah.
got
Yes.
skinny trowel, a fat trowel, long-handled shovels,
Yes.
short-handled shovels, spades, square nose. And then I went to the store and found what's called a garden knife. And oh my God, you can saw with it. You can dig the deepest roots out with it, the stuff you can't pull out by your hand.
Yes.
It's amazing what, there's something new. It's like that 7-in-1 putty knife.
Yeah.
Yeah, that belongs in the garden too.
Yes, absolutely.
There's one more deck that I just want to draw attention to, if you don't mind.
Sure.
It's the medieval Scapini deck. Because the images, and Shari, you might just really like that. That's the Two of Wands. But what do we got? We got the professor stuck underneath the Two of Wands, right? While somebody is climbing over his head. And I got this deck in 1996. And it's right now being used for only one person. This is the Tower. I'll leave it up to you.
There you go. My mom was like that with her sewing stuff. She was a seamstress.
Yeah.
She had like 3 different sewing machines for different projects and all kinds of stuff. We gave away more sewing stuff after she passed, and we knew we were hunting for people to take it because neither myself or my brother sew. And we were like, yeah, we're not keeping all this stuff. This is ridiculous. I'd rather
My
give it to
kids are
somebody
going to
that can
have to
use
get
it.
rid of stickers, washi tape, journals.
Oh, there you go.
Oh my
Yes.
God. Oh,
my kids
I
don't
have
even want to look
Yeah.
at
full
the
room
studio.
full.
Books, cards. Yeah. My son will go
Mhm.
nuts, I'm sure. He'll probably be like, oh my God. What
And
did she leave
probably
me to
find
do?
things that shouldn't be found. But you know what? I'll be dead. I'm
Yeah.
not going to care.
Right?
That's right.
My mother did it to me. I'm doing it to you too.
Exactly.
It's what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
That's it.
And just remember, you'll make a lot of money off of it if you tag it and sell
That's what I
it.
told my daughter. I said, make
Yeah.
sure you sell this shit because it's worth a lot of money. Yeah, I did.
Exactly.
Don't just throw
Yeah.
it away.
Well,
Sell it.
even
No.
if you take it to Salvation Army and you go pack those
How
things-
much is a Willie Mays baseball card worth today?
Oh my
Or a
God.
Hank Aaron?
Oh
Or
my God.
yeah.
To say
It's
the
in
least.
my mind, it's the same thing. You know, it's
I got a Kirk Gibson from the last year he played for the Tigers.
oh wow.
Class
Um,
clown. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Okay.
Aley, that Urban Crow Oracle. I remember a friend of mine was into that, and she really resonated with the with the crow, and so I got the deck for her birthday one year, and she loves it. Yeah, she uses it all the time. Really resonates with it. I've tried looking at it; doesn't do anything for me. But there you go. That's
And
Well, you
Val
know that
reminded me of my dragon decks. I've got two
Yes.
dragon decks that I
Yeah,
love
me
both
too.
of them. I just
Yeah.
don't use them that much because it's like they're for special kind of readings depending on what. And that's it. When I'm doing readings, I mean, there have been times we're drawing, we're shuffling, we're whatever, and I'll hear in my head clear as a bell, wrong deck. And it's
Yes.
like, oh damn, I gotta put it down. And if I don't have it out, then I gotta get up and go to the bookshelf and go find it. The
Oh,
spirit
you
will tell me
know,
when I get to the right one, but
Yeah.
I've got a
Yeah.
Nostradamus deck that is everything is in couplets and what's the other one? Couplets and the 4 lines.
Oh,
that
quatrain.
quintets. And you don't even have to read the card. When you just read that makes more sense because it's including astrology. I love that deck. It's terrific.
I've got
You
an
know,
Edgar Allan Poe deck that is
Yeah.
really fun. Yeah.
And then
Um,
I've got another crow deck that is really dark and sinister. It's black and shades of gray, and that's Putin's deck. I use that for him.
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, we went almost 3 minutes over. My apologies for going over. But then I think we were all having a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
embrace your love of the cards. Go out and buy that deck that you really, really, really see that you want.
Yeah.
I don't know about I think all of us have done flip throughs at one time or another. I'm so behind on doing my flip throughs, it's going to take me a year to catch up. But we try to do flip throughs on our decks, and because I find it's easier if I can see what every card looks like on a flip through with someone, as opposed to seeing 5 cards picked out by some publisher and what they put, on the website. And so, Amazon, great place to get cards. Etsy, great place to get cards. Some of the the Concordia deck I had is tarotofwonders.com.
Yes.
I think is what it is.
Thank you, Gerald.
And Gerald has the same Nostradamus deck. Yeah.
And he says,
and
yeah,
just
purchase responsibly.
Yeah, he probably has every deck that we've mentioned tonight, I'm sure.
Yes.
Gerald's got more decks than anybody I know, except
Yes.
maybe Johnny Tarot Apprentice or something like that.
Yeah.
He's got buku decks too. But embrace the deck, and go with what you feel for it. And if it doesn't work, then pass it on to the next person.
Yeah.
And let somebody else resonate with it. So, thank you everybody for coming. Thank you, ladies, for sharing your newest love of cards and what we're all kind of resonating with and using. And like I said, next week is Val's turn to host, so we'll all be on her channel next week. So be sure you're there. Look, starting this weekend, we'll all post something on the community page for questions. We only take questions from the community page that you can post there in the comments.
Yes.
And then those are the questions we'll answer. This week we didn't have any. So some weeks it's like that.
Sometimes that's just the way
And
it is.
yeah, so
Yeah.
and just we all posted on our community tab. Check our community tab for everything. Like I said, the link to all of our channels is in the description box below. Please go and like and subscribe. Click that notification bell and then share it. And thank you for coming. And have a great week.
Book
We'll
me
have
when
thanks,
you were
everyone.
that way with Stone.
tomorrow or the next day or the next day. So you know how that goes.
We'll see you.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.